Coming up in this episode of the KickCast, a pen to help fix your 3D prints, a pin of many faces, and a way to make your existing blind smart. All that and more coming up, so sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, it is time for another episode of the KickCast, the podcast where we go out and find projects and let you know if you should backtrack or sack them. I am one half of the show, Ktdata, and joining me, a man that has survived his book writing
Creation yes.
fever. And
yes, I did.
A man that I was going to ask you this before actually. That is midterms? Is that going to cause nightmares?
I don't believe in them.
So the man who doesn't believe in midterms.
We are about there. It's about midway. I think what's more scary is that it's midway through the semester, and I'm not even ready for this. I figure it's like we're barely getting started in the third week, and here I am in like the 8th week of the semester. So I've lost the time, lost my whole livelihood to this bookmaking thing. But it's over. It's done, and I'm happy.
I'm still waiting for you to get a TA, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's like it can't be that hard to get one. But
I don't have that many people.
Yeah, but I am so glad that you are back. Like, it's always fun to have a guest host once in a while, but it's just not the same when you're not here. It's just not the same at all. I miss it. And,
Sure, I'm sure.
So it's like, and that also means that I haven't talked to you in like a month, which is totally not cool.
Yeah.
And I still have your Christmas present that I'm like, I really need to drive up there. I drive up there and give it to them.
That's funny.
We'll figure something out. And then, all right. So if it's your first time watching the show, first of all, welcome. And second of all, for anybody who watches the normal show and seems like I am talking a lot faster and a little more distracted, I apologize, as I've eaten about the equivalent of 3 Pop-Tarts, frosted Pop-Tarts prior to the show, because I was just recording another show right before this. So I apologize for that if I'm talking too fast. And Drew, if I go crazy, just,
I had sausage for dinner. And eggs.
Sounds so good.
Yeah, muffins. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I envy you, sir. All right, so before we jump into our projects of the night, we have some news on here. And this one, I am actually the more I thought about it, the more excited I am for it. So on Indiegogo, one of the top 2 crowdfunding platforms out there, and cool guys who let us interview them, they have introduced a brand new feature called Secret Perks. So what a secret perk is, the perk is only available to select people that you share a link to. So if they don't use that link, they will not see that secret perk. So that's good for repeat backers or your inside influencer club. Say you found these 5 people that, these guys are going to be good influencers for other people to back. You can send them a secret perk so they can get like a super super early adopter or like a special edition thing on there. So
I like this. I like that a lot.
Yeah, so you just send them this link, and it's just like creating any other perk. You just select secret perk. I don't know, Drew. What do you think about this idea? Is it something that may be good for project creators to use?
Yeah, as far as I'm understanding it, it sounds like an excellent use of, I guess just kind of making sure that your inside team, because we talk about that all the time. Get your crowd ready and going so they have first day access, and this secret perk kind of gives them like you'll have this chance. Like if you are in our newsletter, you can log in and back us anytime, and you'll get this secret perk specifically for you if you use this link or whatever it is. I like this idea a lot. It rewards that loyalty, and I like the name Secret.
I know, it makes you feel like you're part of the cool kids club. On there,
yes,
you can be like, and the thing is, you can even create this vicious circle by mentioning that you may have a secret perk on your Indiegogo page, and then say, but you'll only get it if you sign up for our newsletter, and then they'll have to go to your newsletter, sign up for that, and that email, in the term world of marketing, capturing that email is very powerful.
Yes.
So,
Yes. I think brilliant. I love this idea. I really do.
yeah. So if you're using Indiegogo, and that's the thing I like about having these two large crowdfunding platforms is that they're kind of pushing each other to kind of innovate and find new things. So this is one of those new ways that they're actually trying to push out. All right.
Yeah, I
So
love this. I love that you could even like cross promote this with another project that was going live at the same time. You could say, okay, hey, all the people that are backing my project, here's a secret perk for this project that launches.
I
You know, it's running
didn't
some
even think about that collaboration. That's
right. Just
great.
like back us both. Oh wow.
That's great. All right. So now we've mentioned a new feature on Indiegogo. It's only fair to mention a new feature on Kickstarter. So Kickstarter today, not today, a couple weeks ago, has introduced the community tab. So you may be looking at the project pages, and now you're seeing this community tab pop up. It is actually the replacement of the backers tab that used to be there. And the reason why they did it is they want to focus more on community. So they've done things like give you stats on which states or which cities or which countries are where your top backers are from, how many new backers and stuff, and then I think it also shows your top 10, or top 8 or your top backers, your top 8 backers, on there, and then you can learn more about your backers and stuff, see how many projects they've backed, go to their profile, just see things like that. It allows you to kind of highlight you know those power users. It actually helps you find those power users out there. And of course, just like the backers tab was, you got to have 8 or more registered backers to show up on there. So that's always
To actually get in there.
It's always an interesting thing. We talk about community a lot when we're talking about the show. Do you think this is going to be helpful?
I think so. If you use it right, and I wonder how many project creators actually are gonna know how to use this information and make use of it. But for those people that are serious about their projects, having this information could be really nice to know exactly where your backers are coming from and who those power players are, to be able to go, oh, here's somebody that's backed 190 projects. Get right in there and just say you got some clout. Maybe even just message them directly and say, thanks for backing our project. We can't wait to share this with you. If we had an Indiegogo campaign, we'd give you a secret perk.
Oh, wow. Look at that. You're blowing my mind today. Just linking everything together. You're just blowing my mind.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
I just love it. All right. So now before we jump into the main projects, we have our new segment, which we call Kick Shouts. Pretty much, this is audio Twitter for your ears for projects that people have sent in and want us to mention. So our first one is Ungrip, and it is a simple, effective, and beautiful solution to hold your phone in a flexible way. So if you want to learn more about Ungrip, just go on Kickstarter and search for UNGRIP on there. All right.
I'm interested already.
Yep.
All right, I'll kick shout a shorty for us. And this one is probably what I love about this one is that I found it by myself, but you guys already talked about it a little bit on the stream last week. But I wanted to point it out because I thought it was interesting enough, and because it's all about poop and unicorns. So it's the Poop Unicorn Scarf. There's a project called the Unicorn Poop and Zombie Entrail Scarf that you basically have a stuffed animal that you can carry with you, and when you get cold, you can pull out the zombie's entrails or the unicorn's poop, and it becomes this very colorful scarf that you can then wear. So go check that one out. That'll be in the show notes. Whew.
All right, and
it's classy.
I love it. I love it. I love it, but Jane didn't, apparently. All right, and then the last kick shout we have, Rock Band 4. Yes, it's already out on consoles, but they want to make a PC version. Head on, and so they want to make a PC version. So instead of going to Kickstarter and anything, go on to fig.co and search for Rock Band 4 PC. It also will show up on the front page. We've covered Fig before, so you guys know the spiel for that. And good luck to Harmonix because we like their games. All right, so let's jump into our projects tonight. And Drew, I'm going to need your help on this because I am not the 3D printing expert. You are the 3D printing expert, but I just thought this was cool. On there.
Have I seen this one? I'm excited.
So our first project of the night is called the Fixer 3D. And so I know this. So when you're printing things on a 3D printer, usually sometimes you got to put in supports and stuff. So the 3D
Yeah,
printer
lots
kind
of.
of has a way of holding it up because you don't want it to fall over while you're printing. And and
Uh-huh.
if I'm understanding this right, sometimes if you're like starting 2 inches off the ground, it needs some kind of base, right, for it to
Yeah, in fact,
start sticking.
everything has a base.
Okay.
Almost every one of these printers that do this kind of MakerBot style, almost every one of them will have a base and lots of support material. You don't even think about how much is there, but and it usually doesn't come off as clean as it's supposed to.
Yeah, so like when you pick it off, you're gonna get these like pop marks and stuff, right? Like I get
Mm-hmm.
that with my Gundam models too. Like I'm trying to be careful using like wire cutters and stuff. Try to cut it and get a good clean cut, but it's plastic, and sometimes it'll just take a chunk off, and you're like, ah, and it's not that smooth surface that you expect, right?
Right,
On
right.
there. So apparently, and I don't know this because I don't 3D print things, but in the 3D printing world, the way to fix that is usually to put some kind of resin onto it and then have it cure so you can get that smooth surface. Am I right or wrong
Yeah,
on there?
yeah. There's a couple of ways to soften it. Depending on what plastic you're using, you can use a resin and re-cure it if you have a UV curable resin, or some people will actually put it into a it's like it's not a heat, like a heat bath almost like
Mm-hmm.
or no, a vapor bath that'll smooth
Oh,
the edge.
okay.
But so this you have
But
a project that will fix these
so
things?
this project, the Fixer 3D, is actually a pen that holds a syringe that holds that curable UV resin on there. And then it also
Okay.
has a UV light built in. So what you can do is it runs on a motor that you can program so you control how much resin actually comes out when you actually press the button and move it. So you can have it come out as little dots or you can have a continuous flow like a glue gun or something on there.
Okay.
And so you can actually move it over your parts that you want to fix and then you just turn on the UV light and it'll cure right there. You don't even have to move the pen. It's just
Which
all
would allow
right
you
there.
to stitch multiple parts together because a
Yeah.
lot of these things that you print, you break them into pieces so they can lay flat and print quicker. That would allow you to put things back
Yeah.
together.
So if you look at the picture, it shows you how they're filling in those pop marks, so you can have that smooth surface with the UV light. And like you mentioned, because not all 3D printers have different size build plates, and you can't if you
Mm-hmm.
want to build some
Mm-hmm.
ginormous gen, you got to cut it up, or you're not gonna have a
Yeah.
3D printer big enough for it. You can actually use this almost like a glue gun to cure it while you're doing it right there. They have a good
Hmm.
picture of this Eiffel Tower. It's actually 3 pieces, and what they do is they just move it around the edges of the 2 pieces, and it cures on there from there. And it
Huh.
should work with all of the curable resin out there. They've actually open sourced the source code for there, so this was kind of unique. They're like, okay, you can use it kind of like the gun and stuff, but since you can control the nozzle movement and stuff, you could actually turn it into almost a DIY 3D printer.
Right. You almost do your own build of stuff.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so their I'm not gonna lie, their interface is not the most beautiful thing out there. But if you're 3D printing things, you're probably used to interfaces like
Right.
this, and
Right.
we're so you can control how fast things come out, and even the diameter. I think the smallest diameter is like 60 nanometers or something like that. Or yeah, the minimal drop rate is 30 microliters, so that's actually a small amount and helps you clear
Hmm.
everything up on there. It runs on a battery that's 400 milliamp hours, and that should
Oh, it's
last you.
rechargeable battery.
Yeah, it's a rechargeable battery
Oh,
with via USB port, and you can also, since it's a syringe, you can use it to suck up resin too. So say you're like me and you suck and sprayed out too much resin, you can use it to suck back up the resin before you cure it.
catch the
And
resin.
and-
Don't hit the button to
yeah,
cure. Just
yeah.
let it suck it up.
So that way you're not wasting resin either. And the way they've done it is if you want a different color, you just move it, take out the syringe, put in the syringe with a new color, and you're good to go. Um,
Cool.
so like as a person who's around 3D printing and doing things like this, does this sound like something that'd be useful to you, Drew?
I think at that DIY level, like I have a MakerBot or I have myself a riprap or something that I'm using. I think this would be kind of an interesting thing to have on hand, um, for repairs or for bigger builds to stitch them together. So I think what they're working on here is, like you said, it's not the prettiest UI, especially on the computer side, but it's a good form factor. Like the actual syringe with its components, they've done good with that, and I like that. I like the idea that you can actually like repair things. A lot of the things that I print for fun, because obviously the the big boys are printing the real things, but the things that I print for fun, all they do, they're just not super sexy. They're not glossy. You kind of get them out, and it feels like they've got jagged edges. And so this looks like it could be a really interesting way to fill in some of those marks and holes and places where the rafts were sitting. I like it.
Yeah. So is it a backtrack or sack for you?
As I don't have a 3D printer of my own, it'll be a track for me.
Yeah, okay. I'll make the caveat. If I had a 3D printer, yeah, this would be a back for me because I think it's
About 100.
$130, which in
Yeah.
the world of 3D printing, that's not a lot. I mean, you're paying
No, yeah.
you're paying you're paying $500 plus for a 3D printer. Something that's gonna help you use it is not. I mean, right?
It's like a finishing tool. It really
Yeah.
looks like to me like a finishing tool. Kind of like you could use super glue, or you could, make it really glossy with a cured resin.
Yeah. So, that is the Fixer 3D. So on to our next project. This one seems really interesting because especially like you've taken your family to Disneyland, and I just was recently at Disney World, and pin trading is a kind of big thing over there where you're kind of like, did your kids do that?
No, we didn't bother. Like I've collected a couple of pins. I just use them for tie tacks, but they're mostly all Alice in Wonderland.
Hmm.
I don't know.
So your
I
kids
don't
have
know
never done like
why.
the pin trading with like the
Nah,
cast members and stuff where you can just
nah.
swap.
We've been young. We've been too young still. But I have the pins and I wear them on my ties. That's what I
Okay.
do, and they pick them out.
So would this next project be something you'd wear in your tie?
I would wear this next project on everything. It would go on my book bag. It would go on my coat. It would go on my shirt daily. And I'd have another one that was just mounted outside my door of my office and just stayed there indefinitely. This thing is cool. Let me tell you all about what this is. This is called the Pins Collective, and it is a project that I think we've probably seen iterations of it, but this one just comes across and right now is looking pretty. It looks pretty sexy. I have some questions, but the idea here is that you can express yourself with a digital pin that you can create, share, wear an image, put an animated GIF on it, or something like that. It is a very simple concept, but essentially you're talking about the perfect like sized, like pin. Like I don't know if they put size on here, but it's like an inch and a half, 2 inch
So
pin
yeah,
where the inside does that have a
it's
size on here?
I think it's about the normal size of a button pin that you see everywhere. I mean,
Like a button pin, right?
yeah.
Yeah. But on this button pin, it's wearable. You can clip it onto your outfits, your shirts, your coats, or whatever. But what I love is that it's just a screen. It's a screen that's updatable by your phone. With your Android or iOS device, you can have an app that you pick the pictures or you generate. They have an app that'll generate animated GIFs, things that move and spirals and swirls and whatnot. And you can make them there in the app or upload them and then push them to the pen. So one day you could have a Deadpool pen. The next day you could have a picture of I don't know, like something religious that's not Deadpool. Right? I mean, you could switch this out for whatever you want. I was trying to think of something that was like the flip flop of the.
Is this a good time to ask? Have
Wow.
you seen Deadpool? Just
Oh yeah, I've seen it. It was awesome. It was so good.
just
Like you could have one. It could just say Ajax, and then it'll flip over to be like Francis, Ajax, Francis. It'd be funny.
yeah. I was just thinking about that. I'm like, he that was a very specific example of going from Deadpool and then going to
Yes,
a religious
something.
the day after.
I enjoyed it immensely. I had to cover my own eyes at some parts, cover my ears, but it was still really good. Anyway, I love this. I think we've seen iterations of this in different ways, but there's something simple about this being just a pin on pin that you can update. And no matter what your mood is for the day, you could just switch it up, and it looks like it has. We're talking about like. See, and I can't find the specs anywhere, but
2 inches.
It's not
2 inches is the
is it 2 inches?
diameter, and the screen is 1.3 inches on there.
Okay, so the screen is smaller, but the colors are fantastic. Like it has what is it, 77,000 dots and
Yeah.
262,000 colors. Right, this isn't a Pebble screen. This is like closer to the wouldn't quite get it to Apple Watch level, but anyway, I'm loving it. I really like the idea. They have this idea you can build a community. You could share pins. Two people could have their pins, send the graphic to each other, and they both set their pins to the same color. Like I've heard that the Secret Service, every time they're on a gig, they may not know each other, but they have the same pin, so you can recognize people that are on your team because of this, like lapel pin. think about meeting random strangers at conventions or places where even like matchmaker.com or something, you just both have the pin and you can wander around the mall. And as soon as you see somebody with your matching color, it'd be like a game of match me. It'd be like, you have Deadpool, I have Deadpool. You must be the person I'm looking for. You see, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I, love
You know,
I love how you mentioned the matchmaking because on our last episode there was a they were doing their 100,000 stats on there, and one of them
Mm.
was there was actually a project creator and a backer. They ended up getting married on there.
Oh,
So you know.
that's ridiculous. Why would you do that? Okay.
So I made it my goal to back a lot of Kickstarter projects to find
I'm gonna
this is right
find-
out there. So maybe
Brilliant.
this pin will help me.
This is it. This might be the one. I love it. You could put album art on there. You could switch up your album art every day or all, whatever it is. I bet you could probably hack something together that, like an IFTT that just said whatever I'm listening to on my iTunes or my Apple Music, get the album art gets pushed out to the pin. Then whatever you're listening to, everybody would totally know what you've got going on. I love it. So for me, it's totally a back. The things that I'm, kind of questioning right now is the way the pin clips on. This is kind of an expensive thing to have on a normal
it's a
button
little
pin.
old school.
Yeah, I just feel like, guys, that thing could fall off. That thing could just, it looks a little scary right now for their actual, the way it attaches. But I also like that they show it in different regards. They show it as not just on your person, but on a necklace, on a lanyard, on a doorway. I would put this outside my office and I would mount it in somewhat of a permanent fashion and just send things to it like, I'll be back in 10 minutes or don't bother me today.
Oh, wow. You were
say.
thinking more calm things because I'd be thinking like it'd just be, the bird flipping emoji showing up
Yeah,
on
right.
your thing. Your students coming by and like, oh.
And I'd make people ask me questions under the door or like through the door, and they'd be like, Drew, can you come out here and watch this video for me? And then I would just quickly find my app and I'd pull up the graphic that flashes. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. Go back to work.
Oh, man.
So I love this one. I think it's good. The price point is up there. So you're talking almost $99 for retail, but their early bird backers, they
60? Yeah.
60. It's at 60 right now.
Yeah, the 50 one's all gone.
Because these guys are not USA, shipping's 15 on top of that.
Oh, yeah, because they're from the Europe, because I noticed how they wrote their decimal points.
Yep. So you're looking at 75 to get an early bird. I'm calling this a back. I really like the idea. I think it's super, super fun. I can't wait to see him in the wild. That's what I'm saying. Pin collection.
Yeah.
No, pins collective. Yeah.
Yeah. This one I think is a back for me too, because I want to really. I take your idea and do the IFT, but it would tap into your Find My Friend, so that way when you're like within a 500-yard radius of me, my pin would just like change into a giant smiley face. I'm like, Drew's around. I gotta find Drew. I gotta find Drew.
I like that idea.
It's like
you just tap in. Ooh, see, that'd be fun to put that into to a sentient web reader that would look at your like last 10 tweets and balance, like gauge your mood and put that on the pin, and it'd just be like, according to tweets, this is what he's thinking right now. I like this idea. I want to get one just to play with that.
Yeah. I think this one's a back for me on there. All right.
Dang.
All right. So for our last project of the night, you're into the home automation. You have yourself a Nest, and you have the fire alarms too, don't you? On there?
I have the Nest. I have the Protect. I've got a couple of things. In fact, today I got this sweet training on somebody's like a giant building's AV system that's all automated. You hit buttons and things like light up and screens. Yeah, I love this stuff. So what is this one?
On there. So, have you ever had this problem? And you probably have this problem more now because your girls are little, because you can't use them as slave labor to close the blinds and stuff because they're maybe
they can't. I don't trust them with my blinds,
and they can't reach. Right, they're short.
Right.
There. So,
right.
So this is a great one. So our next project is called the iBlinds, and what the iBlinds is a way to use your existing blinds and make it into a home automated blinds, so you can control it with essentially make smart blinds. So what you do is it's this little motor right there that you put into the top of your blind housing. So you got to take your blinds apart. You got to take the tilt rod out and the existing tilt thingamabobber, And essentially what you're doing is you're replacing this motor with the tilt thingamabobber, and then you put your tilt rod back in, and it pairs to your app, or it goes through Z-Wave. Yes, Z-Wave. So for those who don't know, Z-Wave is kind of one of those home automation standards on there. So it should work with a whole bunch of things. You can pair it with that and then control how you open and close your blinds using this thing right, using the iBlinds. And you don't even have to be home because it connects to your Wi-Fi, if I'm reading this right. And you can even program it. So say, hey, I know the sun sets around like 5. I can have it open and close. Or you get home around 6 or something, and you're like, I don't want the house to be, or you keep,
Right.
you want to keep your house warm or cold,
Privacy.
depending on there.
Close it. Yeah.
Or it's date night, so you just program it to close at 6, and no one will know. On there, so I really like the idea of this because it's really simple and it looks like something I could do. I don't.
Yeah, right.
I don't know a lot about blinds on there, but you don't have to hire anybody. I looked at their instructions. You literally just take out the existing tilt thingamabobber, and then you put this in, and you pair it. And what's great is that it uses a USB port to charge the motor. So you can either have a USB wall adapter or stuff, or he sells a solar panel add-on that you can hook onto. Because you're at the window already.
I was going to ask. I was like, how do you I'm not going to run a wire out of, I have 3 blinds for my main window upstairs. I'm not going to run wires out of all 3 of them and run them down to a wall wart. That would be ugly. But a solar panel, brilliant.
And like it just fits already on there. You just leave it there. The solar panel keeps your your eye blinds charged, and Bob's your uncle.
Guess what? Bob's my uncle. Stace said I could have some money for making all those ebooks. I convinced her to pay me like some, spending money. This is what I want. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and so like since it's Z-Wave compatible, it's compatible with all these things like Vivint, which is big in Utah. Your ADT, your Honeywells, all these kind of home automation systems, even Smart Things. So with Smart Things, if you don't know, which was another Kickstarter project, it's a giant hub that actually will tries to become the standard for all these home automation things. So if this pairs with the Smart Things hub, and you have other automated things, you can, your Philips Hues, your Sonoses, and everything, they all will work together. So, I'm not lying, Drew. You get this, you get a Sonos, you get Philips Hues in your house. Just program.
I would never move.
Just program date night or romantic mode when the kids are all away with their grandpa and grandma, and just like
button,
like how you do it.
And I would put hot chocolate, you sexy thing, and like the blinds would come down, the lights would dim, and kind of like a blue-red, disco feel. Oh my gosh,
this is perfect. So,
I'm ready.
Like this is a back for me because I love how you don't have to buy new blinds. You can just use the ones that you already have.
Yep, and that's huge. Those are $100 blinds usually the kind that they're showing in their video. And that solar panel add-on is like $20, which is totally worth not having to hassle with running cables down the wall into warts. So, gosh, this is brilliant.
Yeah,
I'm going to show Peach right now.
So yeah, this one's a back for me on there.
Yeah, it's definitely a back for me as well.
All right, so now it is time for our sack of the week. And
come on, sing it loud, sing it proud.
It's time for our sack of the week.
Yes.
So, have you ever done something that you've regretted and wish you could go back to fix it, or have you ever wished you could look into the future to see how successful your girls are, and if they're taking care of you, or do you need to go retrain them to take care of you when you're old? Type thing.
Yeah,
I'm a firm believer of parents brainwashing their kids to take care of them when they're old.
It works so well.
And I don't have kids, so, I'm just, I don't know. I think I'm slowly convincing Drew to join that bandwagon. But so this project is called Back to the Future or Forward to the Past. And it shows, nice picture of the TARDIS. They're looking for $500,000. And so it's fantasy plus 1, 2, 3, 10 years equals reality. Future somewhere near top secret is how they do it. And they're talking about this top secret project that time travel is possible. And ask you all these questions. Today, yesterday, today, yesterday, today, showing pictures of old times and modern times. What is
Wow.
this? I don't even know what that is. Oh, that's a washing machine.
What is
What
this?
hair dryer?
There's a rock. There's a rock. They've drawn a phone on a rock.
Yeah. Tanks
Oh,
on there. But literally the whole project is just pictures of before and after.
yesterday,
Yeah.
today, yesterday,
Um,
today.
yeah, and then I don't understand this. 1, future somewhere near. 2, be ready. 3, be first. 4, top secret. 5, the certificate is unlimited duration.
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I just
What are you buying? So like $300, you can buy a certificate to visit the future for 3 minutes. A lot or a no, you decide. Time travel is possible. Certificate is unlimited duration. 3 minutes in the future?
I don't
Visit the
like how I have
future.
to pick. Can I like get both?
5 minutes in the future?
30 minutes is $3,000.
I don't understand like who said this was a good idea, because here's the thing, usually we find some of these, and this one's borderline, but this one actually seems to be relatively well written. Like the copywriting, the edit on it, what is written are complete sentences, and some of them make sense individually. But I'm just
I'm
oh
just
wow.
I'm just I don't
Oh, wow.
I don't understand. I mean, I think this guy
Well,
has
if it's only yeah,
I think he has a time machine and he's offering trips through it,
I
but I'm
think
not
that's what
quite
we're supposed to
sure.
gather. I think that's what we're supposed to gather. It's like if you back this, he's gonna let you use his machine. I mean, it really makes sense. If I had a time machine, I would monetize that for sure. His
I
his Facebook
don't.
page is facebook.com/01 time machine.
So yeah,
I'm doing a little
I guess yeah.
doing a little
I
checking.
yeah.
I'm not gonna sack this one. I'm backing. I'm climbing in that time
Oh,
machine, and I'm
you're
going in the
going for the
future.
$6,000 on there.
Yeah,
So
I need to learn.
so I gotta ask: are you going in the past or are you going to the future? Because you only pick one.
Oh, I'm going to the future.
Uh,
I'm
uh,
going to the future.
like how far in the future? Just are you like
Um,
old
for
Drew,
about
old
about
man Drew future, or like super
no no
future?
No, like relatively like just 50-year-old Drew. So about 10 years. I'm gonna go check out 50-year-old Drew, which would put my girls at like right in that like teenage era. And I would
Yeah.
I would try and find like in the 3 minutes that I had, of course. In 3 minutes
Oh
I would do
no!
a
If you're
quick
paying the
interview.
$6,000, you get an hour. So
I'm not paying I can pay
oh,
6 grand. I only have although I'd
uh,
probably need an hour because I'm sitting down and I'd be like, girls, I'm your old man, but I'm your young I'm me when I'm younger, when you're still little girls. How do I raise you right? What do I need to do? That's what I would do. I would like ask them questions and they'd be like, get away, you're a stranger. And I'd be like, yes, I did my job.
what if they start
Yeah,
talking
we'll
to you?
talk to strangers. Yeah. What? Oh yeah, you're cool. We'll move in with you right now. Oh man, I'll tell you what. That is a weird sack. If you got to check out his Facebook page. The pictures are hilarious.
I'm loving these pictures that he put on this post. One thing, if you're making your own project, do not make your entire project just pictures. I
Just pictures.
just don't
Just
understand.
pictures.
Oh, are these his notes?
Oh man, he's
Oh
got all of
yeah,
his hand
he's got sketchbook notes. This is
sketchbook. Like you
this,
could build your own if you look
yeah
at his notes. Know
yeah. This
exactly
is
what
all
to build.
written in Swedish, I guess. Or
Are we still? Is he still Swedish? I don't know.
well,
What he
he's from
is.
Switzerland. I don't know what they speak
Okay.
in Switzerland.
Okay.
Right? Is that right, or am I wrong? I don't
I
know.
I look past him.
I barely know
Future.
English.
Does say Geneva, Switzerland, one team member. That's what it says. Wow.
But those are
Well,
acrylic letters up there. Maybe he's Russian.
wonders what he's doing. Maybe he's Russia hiding out because he was from Switzerland the first time around. Now that he's in the future, he's Russian.
I don't know.
All right. I gotta do some more research. This guy's gonna send me down a rabbit hole because I'm gonna go finding like all the strange little dark parts of the internet where people actually travel to the future. I'm gonna figure this out.
All right. So that is our episode of the KickCast on there. If you guys have any projects, any sacks of the week, or any projects you want us to feature, or kick shouts, I'm always looking for people to send us some kick shouts. Let us know at kickcast@ktdata.net. For some odd reason, I don't understand why, but when people try to reach this show, they don't email kickcast@ktdata.net.
No, I actually end up getting I get quite a bit more at Little Big Cast.
Yeah. And I even gotten some from Noms, and I don't even publish that email address.
That's
I
funny.
just don't understand. KickCast at ktdata.net. Or if you want it easier, just leave it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/KickCast, or on Twitter at Night20 for that beautiful man over there, at KTData for myself. Oh, make sure you guys go to Night20 right now and check out the adorable video that was posted on there, or at KickCast for the show. If you miss any of these, if you want to have access to this time machine thing, head on over to kickcast.net for show notes, and we'll have links to all the things on there. Drew, you got any cool projects coming up soon? Or are you just thinking of grading?
I'm done. I'm just breathing. In fact, so here's what I'm doing it's my spring break next week, which is like I'm not ready for.
Going to
but
California?
For my spring break, I'm not going anywhere. I am putting the kid in an extended hours for her preschools so that I can work on another Final Cut Pro online class.
If you want to learn... Yeah.
Yep. If you want to learn Final Cut, I can teach ya.
Yeah. If you want to learn from the best, make sure you pay attention for Drew's courses.
Yeah, I have one on Udemy and one on Curious.com, kind of the same course that just teaches you the basics. And I'm going to spend a week next week building the advanced course, like all the other things. So I'm kind of excited about it.
And then that will be on lynda.com.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to spread it to one more. No, Curious is actually giving me an advance to make it. So.
Ooh, fancy. So make sure you guys check that out. Our next show will be March 15th, 2016 on there. And I hope you guys enjoy. Again, I apologize for anybody who noticed that I went 2 weeks without posting a KickCast episode because I'm stupid. But I will make sure this episode gets posted in a timely manner and not sitting in draft form for 2 weeks on the website. Oopsie on that. All right, guys, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye. Good night.